Hi everyone. Today I'm going to talk to you about how to get the most out of your registered education savings plan. Children across Canada are finally back in school this week, and many parents like myself are relieved that we've made it through yet another long summer. But these years do go by fast, and it won't be long until your child or grandchild, for that matter, is making their way through college or university. Over the last 3 decades, the rising cost of post-secondary education has far outpaced the average rate of inflation. Many young people today, without the assistance from their family, are graduating with insane student debt. Now, RESPs are a powerful tool that both parents and grandparents can use to help bridge the gap for their young loved ones between that child's education and that insane student debt I just talked about. So let's first touch on the rules. RESP rules are kind of a fusion between RRSPs and TFSAs. So here's some of the most important items. Number 1, lifetime contribution limit of $50,000. Contributions are not tax deductible. You get a 20% education grant up to $500 per year. There's a lifetime grant maximum of $7,200. And if you've missed a contribution from an earlier year, you can get an additional $500 grant as long as that grant cannot exceed $1,000 per year. There are quite a few rules than what I've just highlighted here, making RESP planning somewhat complicated. As such, most Canadians who contribute to an RSP stick to a simple formula. They contribute $2,500 per year. This maximizes their free money in the form of grants and generally isn't a bad strategy, especially considering most Canadians cannot afford to maximize their RSP and TFSA contributions. So for most people, the $2,500 a year rule really works for them. But what if you have more than $2,500 available to contribute each year? In this case, it might make sense to contribute a large one lump sum now, but hold a balance of room to contribute in the preceding 3 to 4 years. This strategy taps into the advantages of both compounding returns and the Canada Education Savings Grant, or CESG. So we're going to take a moment to show you 3 examples to compare the results. In our first example, we're going to assume that you are a middle or upper income earner in Canada with decent savings. Further to this assumption, across all these examples, we're going to assume the following. There's a rate of return of 5% a year. You're sticking to a standard family RESP plan, and the contributions will begin in the first year of your child or grandchild's birth. So in this first example, we're going to assume the contributions are equal to $2,500 per year, maximizing the grant money you get from this program. And here's the result. As you can see from the graph, you end up with around $80,000 on a total investment of $42,500, equating to about an 88% return over 17 years. So very compelling in and of itself. On another extreme, in our second example, we'll continue with the same conditions we've just applied above, except in this case, we're going to assume that the parent or grandparent contributes the entire $50,000 on the day the child is born. This will result in only one CESG, which occurs in the first year for $500, that Canada Education Savings Grant. And in this example, you can see the RESP will end up with about $115,000 due to the power of compounding returns. While not exact apple-to-apples comparison to the first example because of the difference in the original contribution amounts, which is about a difference of $7,500, there's still a 44% increase in the amount of money that's left in the RSP at the end of this example. The problem with the second strategy is it leaves grant money on the table and it requires you to put a lot of money in up front. So in our third example, again, assumptions are all the same. We're going to have the grandparent or the parent only contribute $35,000, leaving $15,000 of lifetime contribution room available for future years. From here, the parent or grandparent will contribute every year $2,500 from the child's 1st to 5th birthday, getting them that extra $500 education grant. As you can observe, while there's only an additional $1,000 in earnings, there's 2 big benefits of this option. Number 1, there's a lesser contribution amount up front, and about $3,000 of the $66,000 in gains is coming directly through the CESG, which is kind of a risk-free return. Look, we all know the stats around adults with or without undergraduate and graduate degrees. There's a massive earning differential for a person's life with or without this piece of paper. Never mind the fact that they get this wonderful party life during the college years. Whether you choose option 2 or option 3, the most important message to take away here is that setting up your child or grandchild with an RESP early on and funding nearly all of it up front is a great investment in their future. Finally, chances are your child wasn't born today or last month, so the math on figuring out your specific approach likely isn't that easy. That's why we've built a proprietary RESP calculator that considers your child's age, previous contributions, rate of return, and other factors to best estimate how you should approach managing your child or grandchild's RESP. I want to give a shout out to Stefan on my team, who first approached me about the strategy for my own children. Having taken his advice, I can say firsthand, I've seen the results from the strategy and it works. Grandparents, this message is for you. This is one of the best gifts you could ever give your grandkids. So give us a call today. We're happy to talk to you about a plan for you and your family when it comes to registered education savings plans. Thank you very much.